Well, we're winding down our seminar for today, and we come to the most important, the OFG formula. When my daughter was growing up, and she was 16 years old, she learned what OFG meant. Because I said, Amy, it's time for you to get a job. She says, Dad, I don't know where to go. So I said, Amy, I am going to be your agent. We're going to go out and find you a job. And I said, Amy, let's get in the car. And we drove down to the drugstore in town, and I said, let's go in there. There's got to be a job for you. As I got out of the car and got halfway into the drugstore, Amy had made a 180-degree turn, or 360, and was out of there. You're embarrassing me, Dad. I said, Amy, you've got to get a job. This is an opportunity for growth for you. And this went on all through her life. But you know, Norman Vincent Peale was talking to somebody, and this fellow said to him, you know, I want to go someplace where there's no problems. I've got problems, problems, problems. And Norman said, how much is it worth to you? He said, you take me there and I'll give you $5,000. Norman hopped in the car with him, and they drove over to Woodlawn Cemetery. He said, there's nobody that has any problems here. Nobody has any problems. Yeah, but you know, we all have them. And especially in our sales, we got to remember that we can solve those problems. November 17th, 1994 was a very special day in my life. Got a telephone call from my sister in upstate New York. We were living here in Tampa. She said, your father's been sent to intensive care. It's very, very serious. So we got all our things together, got our airline tickets, and we're headed out the door. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. You know, you're groggy and you're headed to the airport. The phone rang again. My sister said, I don't think you're going to see your father alive. But there's a telephone in intensive care. Here's a number, and we can put the phone up to his ear. Probably the toughest conversation I've ever had in my life. Because my mother related to me after he died that I was the first man he had ever hugged because of my desire to hug him. What do you say to somebody? What's the last telephone conversation you're going to have with them? What words come out of your mouth? It's going to be okay, Dad, where you're going. And it's good that we had that conversation. They said when we put the receiver up to his ear, he nodded because he couldn't talk at that time. He died 2 minutes before we got to the hospital. An opportunity for growth. If someone comes to me and says, what do you say to his last few minutes? I know a little bit about what to say because I've been there. But all of you salespeople got to remember that you have opportunities for growth every time you go out there. And what I'm going to challenge you to do is to take this yellow legal pad, and when you're out in that sales call, you write down the problems and how you solve them. You 3-hole punch these, and you put them in your notebook. And I guarantee you, every one of you will build an experience level that will be outstanding. So I encourage you to remember the OFG formula. What does it stand for? Opportunity for growth. See you next year.